What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name's Jeff. Now, this is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. That sounds interesting? Hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, why don't we jump into our review? Today, we're looking at the Tamdhu 15-year-old. Stick around. So we're back with another Tamdhu today. Tamdhu is a Speyside distillery, and I sometimes say Tamdhu doesn't get enough love, but I'm not sure about that. There's a lot of people out there who seem to really like Tamdhu. When I do reviews of Tamdhu whiskeys, it tends to generate some discussion, get some feedback from you guys. Not only that, I've had more than a few requests to review other expressions from the Tamdhu lineup, including our 15 here. And outside of my admittedly very small channel, you do get the sense that Tamdhu is picking up steam in the community as a whole. You have bloggers, vloggers, reviewers, even industry people just taking more and more notice of the brand. And not only do I think that this buzz is justified, I think we're going to see interest in Tamdhu continue to grow. And I often refer to Tamdhu as an up-and-coming Macallan. They make fantastic sherried whiskeys. In fact, they exclusively make sherried whiskeys. And not only that, they have a very sophisticated, very luxurious distillate. So while the house style of Tamdhu and the house style of Macallan are quite different, I do think the comparison is fair. On a side note, I'm kind of curious to see what else Tamdhu can do. Now, we've seen brands like Macallan branch out into their Fine Oak series. The Fine Oak series was a series of bourbon matured whiskeys. It's since been discontinued, but it showed us a different side of Macallan. Of course, Tamdhu does sherry, and they do it very well, but I just think it would be kind of interesting to see them try different styles of maturation. They're definitely a brand that knows how to choose and manage quality casks, and yeah, I think a bit of experimentation might add something fresh to their range, kind of build on that momentum that they have. So yeah, maybe try some bourbon matured whiskeys, maybe try some wine maturations, maybe tinker with some finishes a little bit. I'm all for out-of-the-box thinking, and if you watch this channel, you know I'm no traditionalist. I do love me a good wine maturation, and I do love me a good finish. So, see what barrels are out there and play around a little bit. And of course, don't lose sight of what you're already doing well. These guys do sherry, and they do it very, very well. And I'm sure if they start tinkering around with other casks, those releases probably aren't going to eclipse the quality that we're getting from their sherried expressions. But I don't know, I like the brand. I just kind of want to see what else they're capable of. And I do guess we have IBs for that, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I tell you what, you guys are here to see a review of our 15-year-old. Part of the reason I started on YouTube was I thought a concise, tangent-free channel would be a breath of fresh air. Now look at me. So, our 15-year-old, released in 2019, matured entirely in Oloroso sherry barrels, and this one's a bit of a weirdo. I can't tell you if it's a limited release or part of the core range, because it seems to be both, and I'm not sure how that works. I've seen some stuff online saying they only made 24,000 bottles of this, but it's still sold as part of the core range a couple years later. It's still very widely available, so I'm not too sure what's up with that. Maybe some of you guys out there do know, and if you do, please let me know down in the comments because I am kind of curious. Anyway, I tried our 12-year-old, loved it. I tried our batch strength, loved it. So presumably that trend should continue with our 15-year-old here unless someone really dropped the ball. So yeah, why don't we hop into a review of this one, see what this whiskey's all about. And in the meantime, if you can kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now, Tamdhu is not always consistent when it comes to specs. Their 12-year-old comes in at 43%. Luckily, they did rectify that for our 15-year-old here. This one comes in at 46%. This is non-chill filtered, and our color is natural, the way Jesus wanted it. So we've got a beautiful color to our whiskey here. We've definitely had some active sherry barrels in this. I've said it before, I do like these Tamdhu bottles. I think they're eye-catching. I think they're unique. Not only that, I like our base here, easy to grip, easy to pour, and I like the blue label on our 15-year-old. So my presentation score for this, 3.5 out of 5. We also have some decent info here. The back does mention that it's naturally colored. It should mention that it's non-chill filtered. It doesn't. Seem to remember the same problem on the 12. Beyond that, we've got some stylization, but no real noise or fluff. There's no legends, stories, silliness like that. Yeah, it's a good-looking bottle. It's one that I actually place towards the front of my shelf. Let's try our nose. So it's a Tamdhu. We have that Tamdhu style of sherry. We have fruitcake. We have silky vanilla in here. We have marshmallows. Some walnuts. Some orange peel. Some apricots in here too. And definitely some woody notes, but not your typical oak. More like sawdust, and wood varnish. Now our palate. Very nice. Beautiful mouthfeel to this. You get a rush of spice at the beginning. Follow that up with some rich, intense sherry notes. I'm picturing like a fluffy chocolate mousse, maybe some dark chocolate shavings on top. What else? We've got some marshmallow in here. There's some berry jam. Orange hard candy is in here. We're getting raisins. We're getting fruit pudding. Maybe some hazelnut in here. And just a touch of like meaty savoriness. Now our finish. All right, silky vanilla, bananas, sultanas. There's an herbal element to this that's kind of like cocktail bitters, like Angostura bitters, maybe some orange bitters. We have chocolate orange in here, and we have some nuts. Very good intensity, medium to long finish. So this is premium stuff. We've got a lot of full, intense, concentrated flavors in here. It's much bigger, it's much fuller than your 12-year-old. It's gonna be more refined than your batch strength. And yeah, this is the Tamdhu you go to when you're looking for an alternative to something like your aged Glendronachs. That being said, without going into too much detail, Glendronach is not the whiskey that it once was. Meanwhile, we've got our Tamdhu here on the up and up. And I'm not kidding when I say that the Tamdhus that we're getting today are comparable to some of the Glendronachs that we used to be getting back in the distillery's heyday. Absolutely no corners are being cut with this whiskey. They're paying very close attention to its quality. Not only that, I believe they're using a fair amount of European oak casks to mature their whiskey. Now, European casks are going to be more expensive than your American casks, but they're going to impart heavier, more intense flavors like wood notes, spice notes, things like that. Pair those with our other flavors. We got stuff like fruitcake in here, those herbal cocktail bitters, some meaty savoriness, and that sort of fluffy chocolate vanilla mousse note. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening in this whiskey. Not only that, you have the inherent elegance of the Tamdhu spirit, which I've talked about in previous videos. So you have this luxurious distillate paired with this intense oak, spice, and sherry, which is a total recipe for success. This is a gorgeous whiskey. Honestly, I think this is one of your best sherried 15-year-olds on the market today. I mean, I would take this stuff over Glendronach 15, over Macallan Double Oak 15, Glenallachie 15, Mortlach 16, I mean, you name it. And, you know, I've actually reviewed all of the whiskeys that I just mentioned, and I pretty much liked all of them. But like I said, Tamdhu is in a league of its own. So when you hear me comparing it to stuff like Glendronach in its heyday or Macallan at its finest, you know they're doing something right. So obviously this is going to get a good score. This is a 90-point whiskey for me. It's beautiful stuff. There's not a lot of other 15-year-olds out there on this level. Not only that, I also like how this fits into the core range. I like how the Tamdhu core range is arranged. Every expression kind of goes in a different direction. You have the 12, which is going to be like soft and rounded. You have the batch strength, which of course is going to be big, bold, powerful. And then you have our 15-year-old here, which is more complex and refined. Yeah, I would probably say that the 15 here is going to be my favorite out of the range. I think the batch strength ones, they might be a little bit more fun than this one, but the extra age does add a layer of sophistication to this. So yeah, it's a beautiful whiskey, definitely not one you want to miss out on. This is a beautiful sherry bomb whiskey without that cask strength ABV. It's complex, it's sophisticated, but it's never challenging. Honestly, I think this represents some of the best of Speyside. It's a great ambassador for the region. So if you're a fan of sherried whiskeys at all, you're missing out if you're not trying this one. So it gets a little bit trickier here when we talk about value. This is going to be pretty expensive for a 15-year-old, but obviously I like it. I'm going to tell you the price is justified. Not only that, I think it's worth the price bump over the 12-year-old. And where I live, this is similarly priced to the batch strength expressions. So what I do when I'm in the mood to buy a Tamdhu, I'll alternate between the 15-year-old and your batch strengths. But I do hope the price on this doesn't go up too much. Where I live, the price of the batch strength expressions has been climbing over the last couple of years. And, you know, when I say Tamdhu is the next Macallan, I was really hoping that didn't include the overinflated prices. For now, what we've got is a premium product with a premium price tag, but I think it's reasonable. I think it's justified. So yeah, I do think you should check it out. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit subscribe down below, click that little bell icon, and of course, smash the like. Now, I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our Tamdhu 15? What were your thoughts on it? And finally, down in the comments, do let me know what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.